So the Niners have very few weaknesses. But our job as quality control coaches is to look at the weaknesses and see if we can address them and make them non-weaknesses. And right now, the secondary is looking a little suspect. Talanoa Hufanga getting beat for touchdowns. Diamador Lenore playing pretty conservative, giving up lots of yards. Travarius Ward, a little banged up. What do you think is the biggest issue with the 49ers secondary, and can they fix it?
I really liked the way Gibson played in this last game. And Lenore is getting better every single time I see him. I just feel like he's getting more confident. Hufanga is the guy that worries me because like everybody gave him so much love after, he got passed over, right? He went in the 5th round but then he just got unbelievable love. Now he's going to the Pro Bowl, and he is a special player going forward, but you can make plays on him going backward because he's not. That's why he went in the 5th round. He's not a great coverage player in a league where you got to play coverage. He's really, really good if you're running the ball, and he's got great timing, anticipation. He'll make plays in coverage, but that's his strength is going forward and closer to the line when his weakness is going backward and double moves and down the field with receivers that have speed. So, I think that he's just going to have to, he's just going to have to take fewer chances and know his weaknesses and don't get beaten deep. I mean, he's gotten beaten deep a few times now. So that's my big concern. I love him as a run defender. He's awesome. And if the ball gets tipped in the air, he's coming down with it, and he's a hitter and he's accountable. And I think he will rise to the occasion like he did in Green Bay on that deep ball when Rodgers tested him on the last series and he rose up. I think he'll rise up. But if you take lots of shots down the field, I think odds are he's going to give some up. That's my concern.
Yeah, that's a good call. I think that's a concern that he's so aggressive and he jumps routes, and it seems like maybe better offenses like Dallas or Philly or Kansas City will look to exploit him. To me, though, there's Lenore. He shouldn't be a starter. They didn't want him to be a starter, and I think what they're asking him to do is like keep everything in front of you. So teams, I mean, you saw Washington. Their attitude was, we got to take as many shots as Lenore as possible. I think other teams are going to do that too. And to me, like, the biggest thing with this secondary is Travarius Ward. He's really freaking good. He's better than I even realized when they signed him. But when he misses time, when he's less than 100%, the secondary seems to fall apart. He should have been the Pro Bowler, not Talanoa. No offense to Talanoa, but Travarius Ward is the best player in the secondary. And when he's 100% healthy, they're pretty hard to stop because he doesn't need any help. But when he's less than 100% or when he's in the injury tent getting checked for nausea, all of a sudden there are big-time openings in the secondary. I think if he stays 100% healthy the rest of the season, the Niners probably will win the Super Bowl. But I think he's very important, Charvarius. He has the ability to shut down people, and if he's not, he's the guy. He's the guy.
Yeah, that's a good call. I mean, you're right. He should have been in the Pro Bowl. He's been a difference maker all year. He's been taking on everybody's number one wide receiver and shutting them down. He's physical. He tackles well.
Yeah.
But it's it's a highlight world we're in, and Hufanga's got all those picks, and that's probably what caught people's attention. But I will say this. They're young back there. That's the thing. Lenore's young, and Ambry Thomas is young, and Womack's even younger. So they brought in Janoris Jenkins, the Jackrabbit, and we'll see. I mean, this is the thing. I mean, if the draft were today, what do they need? They need a corner.
Janoris Jenkins. To me, I'd be more comfortable with them bringing back Richard Sherman or freaking Josh Norman. No offense, Janoris, but like, dude, you're my age. Well,
he's been around. He's been around for sure. But I mean, this is the problem though. When you run out of corners, and it's just like there's nowhere to get them. So what they got is what they got, and hopefully their DB coaches, because they got a couple of them, can coach those guys up and get them ready to go. And again, hopefully they get a lot of rush up front. That's really
right. But I think what teams are learning is for a while, I think teams looked at Kansas City and they're like, okay, Kansas City, they threw screens, they ran jet sweeps. Let's try that. Yeah, good freaking luck. If you're not Kansas City, what you're gonna do if you try to dink and dunk your way to a victory against the Niners, Dre Greenlaw and Fred Warner will kill you. You're not gonna win. And I think Washington's approach was the right approach. Take shots. They ended up with 20 points. That's better than a lot of teams have done against the 49ers. The problem was they couldn't defend a damn thing. Take shots. Do your best you can because you just might even get a pass interference penalty, but there are opportunities down the field if you can get it there. I don't know how many teams can do it.
Yeah. So that's the primary defensive concern is the secondary and the deep ball.